I stand alone in the bridal suite at Pinecrest Manor, watching snowflakes drift past the frosted windows. My wedding dress sparkles under the soft lights, tiny crystals sewn into the bodice catching the glow like captured starlight. The makeup artist transformed me into someone I barely recognize. Eyes luminous, cheekbones sharp, lips the color of winter roses. My bouquet of white poinsettias and pines sits on the marble vanity, filling the room with the scent of Christmas. I checked my phone for the 20th time in 30 minutes. No messages from Mom, nothing from Dad, not even a text from my brother Tyler. A gentle knock interrupts the silence. Rebecca, the wedding coordinator, peers inside, her professional smile barely masking her concern. "It's time, Natalie. Are you ready?" My eyes drift to the window overlooking the ceremony space. 80 guests sit in chairs decorated with red velvet bows and evergreen garlands. A string quartet plays "O Holy Night" softly. The December sun filters through the tall windows, casting golden light across the room. And in the front row, 3 empty seats stare back at me like open wounds. They're not coming, are they? My voice trembles despite my best efforts. Rebecca's smile falters. "There's still time," she says, but we both know it's a lie. I take a deep breath and smooth the silk of my gown. "Let's go." The doors open and 80 heads turn to watch me walk alone down an aisle decorated for Christmas. I feel their sympathetic gazes like tiny cuts. Some whisper behind cupped hands. Others offer encouraging smiles that only make the hollow feeling in my chest expand. My focus narrows to Marcus waiting at the altar, his eyes steady on mine. The love radiating from him is almost enough to push away the memory of my mother's voice 4 days ago. "We'll try to make it, sweetie, but Tyler's law firm is hosting their annual Christmas gala that weekend." Mom's dismissive tone had cut through the phone like she was declining a casual brunch invitation, not her only daughter's wedding. "I can pay for everything," I'd offered, desperation clawing at my throat. "The flights, the hotel, anything. Please, Mom, it's Christmas. It's my wedding." In the background, Dad's voice had drifted through. "Tell her we're busy." Now, placing one foot in front of the other on this aisle scattered with rose petals, I force myself to breathe. In, out. One step, another step. I will not cry. I will not give them the satisfaction, even in their absence. When I reach Marcus, he takes my hands in his. His fingers are warm, solid, real. "I'm here," he whispers, too low for anyone else to hear. "We're enough." For a moment, I'm 9 years old again, standing in our living room on Christmas morning. Mom and Dad are positioning Tyler's debate championship trophy on the mantle, angling it just right beneath the Christmas stockings. They take photos, send them to relatives, talk about how proud they are. My art contest certificate, first place in the youth state competition, sits forgotten in the kitchen drawer. I'd shown it to them on Christmas Eve, pride bubbling up as I explained how the judge said I had exceptional talent. Mom had glanced at it. "That's nice, honey," she'd said, before turning back to wrapping Tyler's gifts. Later, Dad had ruffled my hair absently. "Tyler needs more support. He's going places," he explained when I asked why they went to all his events but missed my art gallery showing. "You understand, don't you, Natalie?" And Mom, never missing an opportunity, "Why can't you be more like your brother? He focuses on what matters." I tried harder after that. Academic awards, college scholarships, business success. Each achievement a desperate attempt to turn their heads in my direction. Each one noted with distracted acknowledgement, if acknowledged at all. The ceremony continues around me. I say my vows, my voice growing stronger with each promise. I choose a future built on seeing each other clearly, I tell Marcus, the words carrying more weight than anyone but he understands. When the officiant pronounces us husband and wife, Marcus's mother envelops me in a warm embrace. "You're one of us now, dear," she whispers, and something tight in my chest loosens just a fraction. The photographer captures us on the dance floor beneath strings of white lights and hanging mistletoe. Marcus twirls me under the decorations, his cousins joining us, forming a circle of laughter and music. For moments at a time, I forget about the family-shaped hole in my celebration. I forget about the phone I've checked too many times. I forget about the explanations I've given to curious guests. At the reception, my college roommate Sarah raises her glass. "To finding the family who deserves you," she says, her eyes holding mine with fierce loyalty. A murmur of agreement ripples through the crowd. The truth of her words hits me like a physical blow. All these years, I've been invisible to the people who should have seen me most clearly. I've been chasing approval from those who never intended to give it. When the celebration quiets for a moment, I slip away to check my phone one last time. No missed calls, no messages, not even a token congratulations. Marcus finds me there, staring at the blink screen. "They missed something beautiful today," he says, wrapping an arm around my waist. I look up at him, at the man who has never once made me feel like I needed to earn his attention. I think of his family, who welcomed me without reservation. I think of friends who traveled across the country to stand beside me on a winter weekend. I set the phone down. "Their choice," I say, feeling lighter than I have in years. Not my burden. And for the first time, I almost believe it. 2 years later, I lean back in my ergonomic chair, staring at the computer screen. The words glow in the dim December light filtering through my office windows. Acquisition of Meadowbrook Digital Studio, finalized at $18 million. 2 years of negotiation, 5 years of building from scratch, and now validation in the form of 8 figures. My office door bursts open as my team floods in with bottles of champagne and plastic flutes. "To Natalie," Jen's my creative director, raises her glass. "The woman who built something from nothing while certain people weren't looking." I smile, clinking glasses with 10 people who actually showed up for me, unlike my family. We're celebrating when my phone buzzes. A notification from Instagram? Tyler posting about his twin daughter's Christmas pageant at Riverside Academy? I shouldn't look. I do, anyway. There they are, Mom and Dad flanking Tyler and his wife Olivia, their identical daughters in matching velvet dresses holding candy canes. The caption reads, "Making memories with our angels. Christmas magic with the family." Dad's arm is draped around Tyler's shoulder, Mom beaming at her granddaughters. A Christmas tree glitters in the background. I swipe through more photos. Tyler's family ski trip to Aspen last month, the Thanksgiving gathering I wasn't invited to, Dad's retirement party in October with complete autumn decorations. In each one, they look like the perfect American family, minus one daughter. What's more telling than the photos is what they represent. The ski rental in Aspen costs at least $8,000 per week during peak season. Riverside Academy runs $35,000 per year per child. Tyler's house in the background of several shots sits in a neighborhood where nothing sells for under $2.5 million. All funded by my parents' retirement savings and family investments, according to gossip from distant cousins who occasionally remember I exist. "Natalie?" Jen touches my arm. "We lost you for a minute." I lock my phone screen. Just checking messages. Where were we? The celebration continues around me, but I'm mentally calculating. Tyler's law firm is moderately successful, but nowhere near the level that would support his lifestyle. My parents have been quietly propping him up for years, depleting their retirement to maintain his image. Meanwhile, my $18 million acquisition doesn't warrant so much as a text message. After the team leaves, I scroll through my parents' social media. Hundreds of posts about Tyler's accomplishments, the twins' milestones, family gatherings at Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter. My existence is limited to a single birthday wish last year. "Happy birthday, Natalie," without even a photo. I close my laptop and make a decision. The next morning, I call my financial advisor. The Porsche Taycan, frozen berry metallic. I want to complete the purchase today." 3 hours later, I'm signing paperwork for a $142,000 car. It's extravagant, unnecessary, and exactly what I want. Not because I need my family's approval, but because I never needed their money. Back home, I take a single photo of the car in my driveway, early winter sun gleaming off its metallic finish. I posted to Instagram with a simple caption, "Dreams realized." For 4 days, nothing. Then on Friday afternoon, my phone lights up with a name I haven't seen in nearly 3 years. Mom calling. My stomach tightens as I answer. "Hello?" "Natalie." Mom's voice carries that particular blend of authority and urgency she reserves for family crises. "We need to talk. Family meeting tomorrow." "Family meeting?" I repeat, hearing the disbelief in my voice. "After 3 years of silence, you're calling about a family meeting?" "This is important." She pauses, and I hear Dad's voice in the background. "Tell her it's important," he says, as though I can't hear him. "What's important?" I ask. "My wedding wasn't important. My business wasn't important. What exactly matters now?" Mom's voice tightens. "It's complicated. Financial issues. We need to discuss it as a family." Of course. They saw the car. They know about the acquisition. Now suddenly I'm family again. "Tomorrow at 2, I say, before hanging up. The next morning, I slide into my new Porsche, the leather seat cool against my back. The drive to my childhood home takes 45 minutes. Time enough to remember Christmases celebrated without me, achievements unacknowledged, holidays spent alone while they gathered without invitation. I park in the circular driveway, my frozen berry metallic Porsche looking starkly modern against their traditional colonial, decorated with a simple wreath on the door. For a moment, I sit there, hands gripping the steering wheel. The last time I stood on that porch was 3 years ago, when I'd announced my engagement to Marcus. Mom nodded politely, while Dad checked his watch repeatedly, clearly waiting for me to leave. They've never needed me before. Why now? My phone buzzes with a text from Marcus. "Remember who you are. Call me if you need extraction." I smile despite myself. Another notification appears, an email from Donna Hayes, the investor who believed in Meadowbrook Digital when no one else would. "Your worth isn't measured by those who couldn't see it." A final alert. My assistant confirming Monday's meetings. "Don't let them take too much time. You have the production review at 4. I take a deep breath, remembering my therapist's words from last week's session. Boundaries aren't punishments, they're protection. I straighten my shoulders and step out of the car. Before I can knock, the front door swings open. Mom and Dad stand there, their expressions shifting from annoyance to shock as they take in the Porsche behind me. "You've done well for yourself," Dad says. Not hello, not "I've missed you," just an assessment of my financial worth. "Yes," I reply simply. No hugs, no warmth. They lead me to the dining room table where Tyler and Olivia already sit, their faces a study of calculated concern. "Natalie," Tyler nods, as though we spoke last week instead of 3 years ago. "Let's get straight to business," Dad says, pulling out financial folders. I remain standing, my purse strapped tight in my grip, the only outward sign of the turmoil beneath my calm exterior. "No," I say. "First, I'd like to know why I'm suddenly important enough to include in family discussions after being excluded from everything else for years." Mom and Dad exchange glances. Tyler shifts uncomfortably.
We can discuss that later, Mom says, her voice slipping into the dismissive tone I know too well. We have more pressing matters now. I'm not in a rush, I reply, still standing. And I'm not interested in being convenient family only when you need something. For the first time in my adult life, I see uncertainty flicker across my father's face. In this moment, I understand. They need me now. And for once, I have the power to decide what happens next. The dining room of my childhood home feels smaller than I remember. Dad sits at the head of the table, hands folded, like he's presiding over a board meeting rather than a family crisis. Mom perches beside him, her posture perfect despite the worry lines creasing her forehead. Across from me, Tyler slumps in his chair, his designer shirt wrinkled at the cuffs. Olivia sits beside him, a leather photo album open on her lap. "It's for closure, Natalie!" Dad's voice is firm, but carries an unfamiliar tremor. Tyler's mortgage is 4 months behind. The twins' private school tuition is unpaid for this semester. I say nothing, letting the silence stretch. 3 years of no contact, and this is what brings us together. You need to help your brother. Dad slides a document across the polished oak table. Loan paperwork, already filled out. The presumption steals my breath. Think about your nieces. Mom's hand flutters to her throat, a practiced hitch that once would have sent me scrambling to please her. They're just children. They shouldn't suffer because of financial difficulties. Tyler leans forward, eyes narrowed. We're family. That's what family does. When one of us succeeds, we help the others. Olivia flips the album open wider, pushing it toward me. They ask about Aunt Natalie all the time. She points to photos of children I barely recognize, their faces shining at a birthday party I wasn't invited to attend. Emma wants to know why you never visit. Dad clears his throat. We've done everything we could. Our retirement fund is... He trails off, exchanging a look with Mom. We've been supporting them as best we can. The implication hangs in the air between us. My success means I owe them. My independence is selfish in the face of family need. I close the photo album and slide it back across the table. Where were you at my wedding? The question falls from my lips, with surprising calm. Tyler blinks. What? My wedding! 3 years ago, Christmas weekend. Where were you? Mom's hand flutters to her throat. We were busy. Tyler had that Christmas gala with his firm. It was an important networking opportunity. It wasn't convenient, Dad adds, as if commenting on a missed dinner party. You have to understand, his career was at a critical juncture. I nod slowly, feeling something crystallize inside me. And yet here you are now. Because you saw the Porsche on Instagram. You only contacted me because you saw the car. Tyler's face flushes. That's not fair. We've always cared about you. Have you? I sit straighter, feeling the power of my financial independence in my spine. Where there once was an anxious curve, there's steel. I built everything alone. Every scholarship, every client, every late night working until 3 in the morning. Where were any of you? Dad's eyes narrow. What's that got to do with the current situation? We're talking about your brother's family losing their home. Everything. I fold my hands on the table, mirroring his posture. I'm listening. Tell me why I should write a check today. Tyler slams his hand on the table, making the water glasses tremble. You always had to prove something, always showing off how smart you were, how creative, how special. Some of us were just trying to live normal lives without constantly seeking attention. Dad's hand settles on Tyler's shoulder, a gesture I've seen 1,000 times. Your brother had more potential. We had to nurture that. You were always so independent. You didn't seem to need us the way he did. We're still your parents, Mom whispers, tears gathering in her eyes. Despite everything, blood doesn't just stop meaning something.
You were parents in title only. My voice remained steady, surprising even myself. You missed my high school graduation because Tyler had a debate tournament.
You missed my college scholarship ceremony because you were at Tyler's law school orientation. You missed the launch of my company because it was Tyler's birthday weekend. You missed my wedding. I tapped the table with each missed milestone. You missed my entire life. And now you want to share in what that life has built? Natalie, Dad starts, but I continue. You didn't build my success, I say. You don't get to share it. My phone vibrates in my pocket. I glance down to see Marcus's message. You okay? Meeting running long. I'm here if you need me. The sight of his name brings back Donna Hayes' words when she invested in my startup. You don't need approval from anyone who can't see your light. I think of my team at Meadowbrook Digital, their faces shining as we toasted the acquisition. People who chose to see me, to support me, to believe in what I could build. Dad slides the loan paperwork closer to me. We're only asking for what's reasonable. Family helps family. The interest rate is quite fair. We're not even asking for a gift. We'd pay you back, Mom adds as if offering a favor. Eventually. Tyler's smirk returns, confident now. Blood is thicker than water, Nat. You can't just turn your back on us. I stand slowly, deliberately. The motion draws their eyes, their bodies leaning forward expectantly. I reach for my briefcase and set it on the table with a soft thud. I've made a different decision, I say. Tyler's eyes fix on my hands as I unlatch the briefcase. Dad shifts forward in his chair. Mom's fingers twist the napkin in her lap. I can see the hope flickering across their faces. They think I'm reaching for my checkbook. Instead of a checkbook, I withdraw a single document and place it on the table. This is the announcement for the Rivera Arts Foundation. $14 million to create opportunities for young women in digital media and arts. I smooth the paper with my fingertips, watching their expressions shift from hope to confusion to anger. 14 million? Tyler chokes out the number, his face going pale then red. You're giving away 14 million? Named after Miss Rivera, my high school media arts teacher. The woman who attended my gallery showings when my family was too busy. The woman who wrote recommendation letters and stayed after school to mentor me. I pause. The money is legally protected in a foundation trust. The board approved the allocation last week. Silence falls like concrete across the table. I'm helping girls who never got the recognition I didn't get. Girls whose families overlook them. Girls who need someone to believe in them. That's what family means to me now. Tyler's face contorts, veins standing out on his forehead. You're wasting it on strangers, on nobody girls, who probably won't even amount to anything. Who deserve better than what I got. I snap my briefcase closed. Girls who need someone to invest in them instead of demanding they prove themselves worthy of basic attention. My parents sit stunned, staring at the paper that represents millions they'll never touch. Olivia speaks for the first time since the reveal, her voice shaking. What about Emma and Lily? What about their future? Their parents should have thought about that before spending money they didn't have to maintain an image they couldn't afford. I pick up my phone, turning the screen toward them. A recording app displays an active timer, 42:18 and counting. I've also documented every manipulative statement from today. Every threat, every demand, every guilt trip. Just in case anyone gets creative with legal claims against the foundation or tries to contest its legitimacy. I walk toward the door, my footsteps echoing in the silence. Behind me, I hear Tyler's chair scrape back violently. You can't just leave! We need that money! You're destroying this family! I paused at the threshold, not turning back. No, Tyler, what you needed was to show up at my graduation, at my company launch, at my wedding. You needed to see me as more than a backup plan. I place my hand on the doorknob, but that opportunity has passed. If you walk out that door, you're not our daughter anymore, Dad says, his voice hard. I turn to look at him one last time. I haven't been your daughter in a very long time. You're just noticing now because it's inconvenient. The door closes behind me with a soft click that sounds like freedom. The Porsche purrs beneath me as I drive away from my childhood home, my knuckles no longer white on the steering wheel. The further I get, the steadier my hands become. The winter afternoon sun breaks through the clouds, casting long shadows across the road. I press the call button on my dashboard. It's done, I tell Marcus when he answers. They showed exactly who they are. How bad was it? His voice fills the car, concern wrapped around each word. Exactly what we expected. I take a deep breath, feeling lighter than I have in hours. Tyler lost his mind when I showed him the foundation paperwork. Dad tried to salvage the situation with threats. Mom just kept crying about family obligation. Olivia tried to use the twins as emotional leverage. Did you hold your ground? Every inch of it, I say, surprising myself with how steady I feel. I recorded everything, showed them the foundation documents, and walked out when Dad tried the "you're not our daughter" ultimatum. Are you okay? A fair question. I glance at myself in the rearview mirror, surprised to find no tears, no flush of embarrassment, only a clear-eyed woman looking back. I'm better than okay. For the first time, I saw them clearly without hoping for something different, without that little voice in my head saying maybe this time they'll choose me. I'm proud of you, Marcus says, and I hear the emotion in his voice. Remember, Foundation board meeting at 9 tomorrow morning. Everything's ready for the press announcement. The timing had been deliberate. Establish the foundation legally before any family confrontation. Schedule the announcement before they could regroup. No emotional pleas, just legal structures they couldn't penetrate. My attorney had made sure every document was airtight. I'll be ready, I promise, before ending the call. The first message comes at 10:23 p.m. By midnight, my phone buzzes continuously with family emergency texts. I silence it and place it face down on my nightstand. The house is quiet except for Marcus's steady breathing beside me. I don't need to read their messages to know what they contain. Variations of guilt, manipulation, and veiled threats. Morning brings 8 voicemails from my mother. The progression evident in her tone from weepy pleas about family unity to sharp accusations of betrayal, culminating in threats about what people will think of a daughter abandoning her family in their time of need. The last one mentions calling my business partners and investors to tell them the truth about me. You've dealt with worse, I tell myself, as I apply mascara, the morning routine grounding me. My navy suit, the one I wore when signing the acquisition papers, hangs ready on the closet door. Marcus hands me coffee in my favorite mug. Tyler's been calling business associates, he says, scrolling through his phone. And your dad tried reaching my uncle. They're escalating. Predictable. I take a sip, the coffee bitter but fortifying. They are moving faster than I expected, but not more cleverly. My attorney anticipated this. The foundation board meeting goes smoothly. 10 accomplished women from media and finance, all personally vetted, all committed to supporting young female artists. The press release is approved unanimously. Launch details finalized. The first scholarship recipient will be selected in 4 months. I'm reviewing the event venue proposal when my assistant calls. Miss Chen, your family is here. They're causing quite the scene in the lobby. Through the glass walls of my office, I can see security already moving toward the lobby.
I straighten papers that don't need straightening. Have security escort them out, please, calmly and professionally. I watch through the windows as my mother's voice rises over the general office hum. My daughter is abandoning her family. Her hands gesture wildly, her pearl earrings swinging with the motion. Several employees have stopped working to watch. Tyler stands beside her, arms crossed, face flushed with the particular shade of red it used to turn when he was denied something as a child. He's pointing at my office, saying something I can't hear, but can easily imagine. My team watches me for cues, uncertain how to react to this invasion of our professional space. I stand, smooth my skirt, and walk to my office door. It's being handled, I tell them with a calm I've practiced for this moment. Let's continue with our work. This doesn't affect our projects or deadlines. Security escorts my family toward the elevators. Tyler's voice carries back across the open floor plan. This isn't over. We have family obligations you can't just ignore. You'll regret this. I close my office door and return to my desk. My hands don't shake. My stomach doesn't churn. I simply feel relieved. That evening, I draft a single email to all three of them. I have documented your harassment at my workplace. Any further attempts to contact me at my office will result in a formal complaint and potential restraining order. All communication regarding family matters must be directed through my attorney, whose contact information is attached. Do not contact my employees, my business partners, or my husband's family. Natalie. 3 weeks pass in a blur of foundation work and strategic silence. The press announcement generates overwhelming response. Applications pour in from young women across the Pacific Northwest. Teachers nominate students. Guidance counselors reach out. The stories are heartbreaking and inspiring in equal measure. I'm reviewing portfolios when my assistant buzzes. There's a delivery for you. The courier says it's urgent and requires your signature. A large box arrives, wrapped in Christmas paper despite it being mid-January. Inside, carefully packed, are photo albums from my childhood. A note in my mother's handwriting reads, "We always believed in you. These prove it. Why can't you see that? We were always there." I flip through the albums slowly, methodically. Pictures of Tyler at debate tournaments, Tyler's graduation, Tyler's wedding, Tyler's daughters. Page after page of his life, meticulously documented. Professional photos, candid shots, milestones celebrated with parties and gatherings. Then, near the back of the third album, I find 3 photos of myself. My 8th grade art show, a distant shot where I'm barely visible behind other students. My high school graduation, taken from the back of the auditorium, my face a blur of white and gold. My college acceptance letter, wrinkled and stained, as though it had been crumpled and smoothed out again, tucked between pages like an afterthought. 3 photos in 20 years of meticulously maintained albums. Marcus finds me in my office that evening, the albums spread across my desk like evidence in a trial. "They sent you their photo albums?" he asks, settling into the chair across from me. As proof they cared, I close the last one. 3 photos, Marcus, 3, in hundreds and hundreds of pages, documenting Tyler's every achievement, every milestone, every casual family gathering I wasn't invited to. He reaches across the desk to take my hand. "You don't need their version of history. You have your own truth." "I know," I say, squeezing his fingers. But seeing it laid out like this, it's validating. I wasn't imagining it. I wasn't being dramatic or too sensitive like they always said. The Portland Business Journal runs the foundation story the next day. The headline reads, "Self-made success creates legacy of support for overlooked artists."
The article quotes me. "I had a teacher who saw potential in me when others didn't. Miss Rivera changed my trajectory by simply paying attention, by believing I had something worth nurturing. I want to create that opportunity for young women who might otherwise be invisible." When asked about my family, I'd kept it simple. My success was built independently. This foundation honors those who truly supported me along the way. The community response is overwhelming. Former classmates reach out with stories I never knew. How they'd wondered why my parents never came to events. How they'd noticed the disparity. Business colleagues offer partnerships. Even distant relatives message their support. "We always wondered why they never mentioned your achievements," writes a cousin I haven't spoken to in a decade. "At family gatherings, it was always Tyler this, Tyler that. We thought maybe you two weren't close, but this explains so much." 2 days later, news of Tyler's foreclosure becomes public. The contrast between my generosity and my family's entitlement becomes the narrative without my saying a word. Several local news outlets pick up the story, focusing on the foundation's mission. Christmas arrives again, 1 year after the foundation announcement. Marcus and I host dinner at our home. The table extends to accommodate everyone: my team, mentors, the first 3 scholarship recipients, including a brilliant filmmaker named Sophie, who reminds me so much of myself at 19. Our home glows with warmth my parents' house never had. White lights twinkle on the tree, cinnamon and pines scent the air, laughter rings against the ceiling. The mantle displays photos from our chosen family gatherings, not Tyler's trophies. No one here needs to prove their worth to be seen. I raise my glass. To those who see us as we are. The toast echoes around the table, voices blending in genuine affection. Sophie catches my eye. "Thank you for believing in me," she says softly. "My parents didn't understand why I wanted to pursue film instead of something practical. The foundation gave me permission to trust myself." "Thank you for letting me," I reply, feeling the circle complete itself. "You're exactly where you need to be." Later, as we clear plates, my phone buzzes. A text from my mother. "It's Christmas. Can we please talk? The twins miss you." I delete it without responding. Marcus notices. "You okay?" Better than okay. I slip my phone into my pocket. I'm exactly where I need to be, with people who chose me, not people who need me. Through the windows, snow begins to fall, soft, silent, transforming everything it touches. The neighborhood glows with Christmas lights, each home a small constellation of warmth. My chosen family laughs around the table. The foundation thrives, with applications still pouring in. Young women I'll never meet will have opportunities I created from the ashes of my own invisibility. And for the first time in my life, I'm not waiting for anyone's approval. I'm not hoping the next achievement will be the one that makes them see me. I'm not checking my phone for messages that will never come. I'm simply living in the light I built myself, surrounded by people who add their own light to mine. The tables didn't just turn, they rebuilt themselves entirely with better people sitting around them. People who show up, people who see, people who choose love as an action, not an obligation. As I watch Sophie and my team laugh over dessert, I realize this is what family was supposed to feel like all along, and I'm finally home.